Welcome to Love Where You Live, a podcast where we have conversations about why it's awesome to live in Boulder County. But that's not all. We also talk about awesome people who are doing awesome things. I've used that word 3 times now, and that's because I am sitting with an awesome individual, my very good friend, Dr. Cathy Koger. I don't always get to have a doctor on the show. Today I do. Cathy, I can't even call you that. Kitty, thank you for being here.
You're welcome, Michael. Thanks for having me.
Do you remember when I accidentally called you Cathy once and you were like, who's he talking to? And I'm like, I don't even know.
Yes.
Okay. So here's the cool thing, though. Your name, Cathy Koger, that's your official formal doctor name. Yes. But we've known you forever as Cathy Koger, Kitty Koger.
Yes.
Okay, right?
Yes.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay. So I'll just do a little intro because a lot of times we'll have just all kinds of types here. I'll give a long, lengthy intro before I'll say the name. But I just wanted to say, first off, thank you. We've known each other for a long time, and it's just a pleasure to get to have a chat with you here on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
So, and I'm also recognizing that my audio is super hot, so I'm going to step back a little bit here. So I'll go with this. I led with you're a doctor. You're also if I'm not wrong, and correct me where I'm wrong, you're the CEO, you're the head honcho, you're the superstar of K2 Dermatology here in town.
Yes.
So far, so good?
So far, so good. I don't know about superstar, but we're trying. We're trying.
You're trying. No, you are. So, and one of the things that we do in our podcast is we do talk a lot about Boulder. Yep. And that's a super important thing to me, is showcasing our awesome town and all the stuff we have going on. But also, we have decided that we want to do not just local businesses where we highlight some cool local businesses, which we've done, but in particular, I'm endeavoring to do every month one woman-owned local business, which you are obviously one of.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right?
Yes, I'm proud of that. Thank you.
You should be. Yeah, you should
really
be.
Cool that you guys are doing that. That's great.
Well, thank you. We're big fans of you. We're big fans of K2. We don't want to diminish any of the other doctors or any of the staff because you have an incredible crew around you.
Yes, they're all great in Boulder. They really are.
They're all great, and but all your people, right, at K2, and we'll talk about that. But you're a doctor here in town, but you're also, and I usually will lead with this, you're a super wife, you're a super mom, you're a dog owner, you're a great friend, you're an incredible athlete. Like, you do a lot. You really, I think, in a lot of ways, just exemplify the Boulder, I don't usually say this, but the Boulder badass.
That's very kind. Thank you. Right back at you, baby. Right back at you. Except you're a guy.
Except I'm not a mom. Well, thank you.
Mom.
So, yeah. And so, I mean, let's do this then, because I think that I do like to get across right away what sort of individual is sitting here on the couch going through the interview. Some people will know you, some of them will not. But I do say also, like, we intersected in the sphere of triathlon. Yeah. I met you at East Boulder Rec Center about 23 years ago, swimming.
Yes.
You also do Nordic skiing. You've done an ultra, like, 50K run. You do triathlon still to this day. You're a runner. You do everything. I mean, you're very active, and then you're also very involved with your family life and the business. Does that sound fair?
Yes.
Fair enough, right?
Fair enough. And you introduced me to my husband, remember?
That's right. Yeah, we'll come back. We'll come
in the pool.
That's right. One of the people that got to introduce you to Ivy, the husband,
yes.
who is denied coming on the podcast. He wasn't actually invited, but he has denied opportunity nonetheless. So, okay, let's do this. We'll go. I like to go chronologically, and this eases in, and this gets you talking because I've heard too much of my own voice. So if you've listened to any of the shows before, you know that we like to go way back. So tell me and tell everyone here where you grew up, what was it like growing up where you grew up, and what did you do as a little kid?
So I grew up in Michigan, so outside of Detroit, yay, in the suburbs of Detroit. And my mom raised 3 kids by herself, so I had 2 older brothers, and so we were a little feral, but
feral is good.
Feral isn't horrible. But we grew up kind of simply and just kind of played a lot of sports, and summers weren't camps and things like that. They were simple. We swam a lot and played baseball and basketball and all the Midwest sports, and then I went to school in Michigan at University of Michigan in engineering, and then actually moved to Dallas because I was tired of the Midwest weather, and moved to Dallas, Texas for my first engineering job. And actually, that's where I met you for the first time, was in Texas. But you wouldn't have remembered that because I remembered that because I was like, wow, there's a pro triathlon. athlete. He was so nice. So that's actually the first place where I met you for the first time, but didn't get to really know you. So then I worked as an engineer in Dallas, Texas for a while, and then just had been always wanting to move to Colorado. And I have family in the Springs, and Boulder was always a place I'd read about in Outside Magazine back when you read magazines and didn't scroll.
For sure. For sure. No scrolling, no swiping.
No scrolling, no swiping. So it was a kind of a dream, and a gal at my work made it happen for me. It was just this random woman I knew who helped sort of facilitate the job that I got in Boulder as an engineer.
Right.
And that company moved me. It was a subsidiary of IBM and moved me here as an engineer. And so in 2001, June, my friend George Lowry, thanks George, moved me here from Dallas, Texas. And that's where my life in Boulder started.
Yes.
It was amazing. It was a dream come true. I remember the first time we drove on 36 as you crest that hill, just as you are leaving, Louisville, Superior area, and you could see Boulder, and I was like, oh my God, this is home now. It was incredible. And,
nice.
And to this day, every time I drive in, which I've done it a billion times now, I still pinch myself.
I love that. Do you really?
God, yes.
Yes, good.
And now I do it to my kids, and my kids are like, oh my God, Mom, are you going to tell us again about how beautiful this view is? Yes. But sometimes they even are like, wow, Mom, you're right. This view is amazing.
Oh, that's good. Well, you're doing something right if you're pointing it out. Because I think I want to acknowledge first off that you're doing that, because some people have been here for a lot of years. I do believe they lose that magic. They don't see that, and they take it for granted.
Oh God.
Right?
Yeah, especially when you've been away, which I was from med school for a long time.
That's right.
And so, then you come back and you're like, gosh, I still live here. Yeah. This place is majestic.
Yeah, good for you. Okay. So I have to still rewind, because this is how I roll. You tried to skip over some things.
I did.
So probably not on purpose. So let's go back. So Michigan, where outside Detroit, small town? Mm-hmm. Like really small town?
Clawson. It's super small. It's
couple
like
people?
4 square miles.
4 square miles?
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple people.
And you have 2 brothers?
Yes, I have 2 older brothers.
2 older brothers, and you're the youngest. And then what was it like? Were they beating you up, teaching you things, or were you like right away boss in charge?
No. The former.
The former.
The latter.
Oh, they were, okay. How much older are they? I can't remember.
So I have one that's 5 years older and one that's 10, and they were definitely, teaching me a lot of good life lessons, and I love them to this day for it.
Oh yeah, they're good.
Maybe when you're a kid, not so much, but
totally.
When you're an adult and you have retrospective, you can look back, you can think, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I had them.
Were they trying to look out for you and make you tough on purpose, or was it not even intentional? It was just like, hey, there's the little runt, let's beat her up.
I think it was all of it.
All of it.
D, all of the above.
D, all of the above. Oh, that's always the right answer. And then, okay, and I like to envision this. So you're small town, single mom, big brother, big age gap though, so you weren't really in school much together.
No.
At least, especially not with the older one.
Yep.
But what were activities like for you? You grew up doing what? Just school?
So school was a big deal for me. I definitely saw my mom struggle a lot when she was, raising us, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I really want to go away to school, and I knew I had to figure out how to pay for it and make it happen, and that, which was fine. And so I kind of dove really heavily into school, and sports were kind of a background activity for me. So I didn't grow up like something like, I know you grew up. I mean, you're a very gifted athlete, but I didn't grow up like that. I grew up really focusing on activities and sports, and
I love
just
that.
trying to sort of diversify whatever it is I was into, because I really wanted to just do different things,
right,
and not have to struggle like my mom had to struggle financially and just emotionally and everything. So I really,
that's powerful.
That was a big deal for me when I was younger.
Yeah, what a driver.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought I gotta just, and I wanted to help her too. She was always just kind of, she's a strong lady, but just always kind of struggling with different things. And I was like, I can help
do
her.
this.
I can do this.
Oh, good for you.
I can do this.
And then so elementary school, middle school, high school as well. What was your favorite outside of school? And you're driven, you're doing well, you're trying to get out, trying to help get better. What else did you do? What was the pastime?
So
bottle cap collecting?
No.
No one does that.
No one does that, but it's kind of a neat thing to think about. I did like to play. I mean, I did play sports. I shouldn't say I didn't. Flag football and softball was a big thing too. I really loved to read. I was a big reader,
good for you.
I loved foreign language. I took German and really loved it, and haven't maintained it like you with Spanish, but I really, really love that. I just love learning. I was kind of a quintessential
That's
nerd.
neat. No, for sure.
I'm sure that's not a stretch for you to think of me as the quintessential nerd, but that was really who I was. And,
yes. No, it's,
it filled my cup to just, dive into different things.
Good for you.
I just love learning about everything.
I love that. And then, no, that's fair enough. I mean, it's just, again, it's a glimpse in, it's like we talk about Boulder, but we talk about the people who live here, and it's such an awesome, I've overused that word now. It's an interesting cross-section of the world that comes to Boulder and finds their way. So we'll get there. You went to University of Michigan, and what was it? Immediately you're like, mechanical engineering, this is where I have to be? Or is it electrical? Or was it chemical?
No, I mean...
What other engineering?
So literally it was my chemistry teacher who said to me one day, he's like, you need to go into engineering. It's a good field for women. You'll make good money. You'll pay for school. You'll help your family. And I was like, okay, done.
That's it.
Yeah.
Good for
that
you.
was as simple as it was. He believed in me, and I thought, I can do this. So I applied, and the application process to college was not like it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, I had some scholarships and stuff, which was helpful, and then went there and I loved it. I mean, it was, so I grew up in a, pretty homogeneous town, a lot of diversity. It was small, but then I went to Michigan. It was amazing. There was so much diversity, and it was so fun, and I found my people there for sure.
How cool.
I loved it.
And you're still a big fan, big sports fan.
Yep.
Big Blue.
Yep, Big Blue. Go Blue.
Yeah, I won't, well, maybe I will. Explain to me how it's Big Blue, but there's also a mascot. Walk me through that.
Well, you mean like the Wolverine?
The Wolverine
mascot?
Yeah. How come we go with Big Blue and not just like go Wolverines? You almost never hear that.
I know, no clue. I really don't know.
Okay, we'll come back to that. We'll
let's table that.
Chat GPT.
Yes, we'll Chat GPT that.
So Michigan, engineering, boom, undergrad, crushed it, and you're ready to go to the workforce. Yeah. Awesome. What were you into in college outside of studying and reading?
So I did a lot of in engineering. Like I set up a kind of underserved camp one summer through the Society of Women's Engineering Club that I was involved in, and brought in girls from all around the state and with scholarships to teach them about what engineering was about. Yeah. And these are women that didn't always have those opportunities, so we kind of cherry picked different schools. So that was a big thing I did. I was in an honor society with Larry Page, who's the founder of Google. So I won claim to fame. And actually, he was dating one of the gals that subletted our apartment one summer, so he hung out with us one summer.
Nice.
Small claim to fame.
Small.
Would Larry Page actually remember who I was? Maybe, but I doubt it. But anyway, he was a nice guy. So, so I was involved in societies, but then I played intramurals a lot. I mean, like
what, basketball?
So no, but football. And we actually went to the national championships in intramural football.
No way.
It was awesome.
Flag football.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, it was like co-ed flag football, and we ended up going to New Orleans to
That's
nationals.
really cool.
It was so fun.
I didn't know that.
Broom ball and all the fun stuff that you play.
Most people don't know what broom ball is. Share. What's broom ball?
So it's like you're on the ice with like this thing that kind of looks like a broom, and you just like hit this ball around and you try to
what kind of ball? We need a visual.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Is it like a lacrosse ball?
Yeah, no, it's bigger than that.
Big
or
ball.
At least it was like back then. It was bigger than that.
Like a dodgeball.
Yes, but maybe smaller than that. Somewhere between a lacrosse ball and a dodgeball, therein lies the broom ball.
I'm writing down in my brain little things to Google after this, and I've got 2 so far. We're only barely into the the conversation. So you did intramurals. I love that. Yep. Active, social. I mean, you call yourself a nerd, but you're very social. I mean, you do have that that outgoing extrovert, I think.
So that was funny you say that, because my first engineering job in Dallas, I remember it was probably my second or third week there, and it was in a manufacturing area, and we were making circuit boards that actually went into missile systems. And so my boss comes up to me, and I'm 23 years old, and he looks at me and he says, "Why are you an engineer?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm going to get fired from my job."
What did I do wrong?
I know, because I just moved from Michigan.
That's too much.
And he's like, "Why are you an engineer?" And I just looked at him and dumbfounded. I had no idea what he was getting at. And I really liked him. And I said, "What do you mean?"
Because I'm good.
He said, "Because you're so outgoing.
Oh, wow.
You love people, and you love talking to people, and you're kind of a gregarious person.
Yeah.
Why are you an engineer?" And that was like the second seed that had been planted in my mind of like, maybe I should have gone to medical school. Because he said, why aren't you a doctor? He literally said that to me. And that was the second seed that had planted in my mind in like a 5-year plan of like, maybe I should think about medical school.
What was the first seed?
So one summer when I was living in Ann Arbor, I actually had a job. It was doing research in the orthopedics lab. And we were analyzing stress strain models in a rabbit. So we were analyzing like growth patterns in the bone, actually. And so one of the days that we were there, we went to the morgue at University of Michigan Hospital.
Little field trip.
We harvested. So you can imagine it was pretty, it was a little morbid, with a bunch of cadavers. And so I watched these med students and grad students just harvest things that they could then analyze. And I was like, oh my God, this is fascinating.
So that intrigued you. Yeah.
It totally did. And I remember telling my boyfriend at the time, oh my God, that was the most interesting thing. And he said to me, are you out of your mind? You're almost done with engineering. Don't start over again. Like you're going to start making money and you're going to be set. Don't start over again. And he wasn't wrong, but I remember him saying that. But that was the first seed.
That was the first seed. How cool. Oh man. And then, but yeah, I can also see at that age, you have just committed, you have been down this track, and it's super hard. Yeah. I mean, it's immensely hard to just all of a sudden say, never mind, I'm going to go, rack up another.
Well, there's not a lot of crossover between pre-med and engineering. I mean, a lot of people in engineering end up going to med school, but there's not a lot of crossover between the classes.
Yeah. Prereqs. Okay.
Exactly.
So all right. So then jump to Dallas.
Yep.
You got the job.
Yep.
How long are you in Dallas?
So 4 years.
4 years in Dallas.
And
that's a notable amount of time.
That's where I started racing triathlons.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where I found out who you were. And Amanda was, and all triathletes, because the races that, like Buffalo Springs.
Oh, right.
Remember those days?
For sure. Oh, yeah. Very vividly. Yes. No other reason to remember Lubbock. Well, I'm sorry, Lubbock lovers. There's a lot of really good.
There's good.
A lot has come from Lubbock, including Buddy Holly. So if you're doing triathlon and you're doing engineering and you're pretty content. I mean, it's like not quite.
Like,
something's missing.
No, I wasn't. I really enjoyed engineering. I loved the job. It was nice to make money. It was nice to help my mom. It was, all the things I'd wanted to do. I was like, check. But then I was always looking for ways to just fill my cup with how do I help people? How do I help people? And I joined the Sierra Club, and I had a friend who was putting together something that was for outdoor. It was sort of an outdoor experiential ed things for at-risk kids, and I volunteered with him, and I just kept volunteering to do all these things that felt like it was helping people.
Yeah.
And it filled my cup, and I thought, maybe I should go, get in the experiential ed outdoor. I took a Knowles course one summer when I was working, because I love the outdoors so much. And I don't know, I was not content.
Yeah, not fully content.
I was not fully content. I was like, well, maybe I just need to finally just move to Boulder.
Yeah.
Because I love the outdoors so much. There's so much going on there. Maybe I can find my way to help people there and still, maintain a living. And so I was going through all these things.
I love that. Yeah.
I mean, I even did I even thought about business school and starting a business way back then, but it was an experiential ed business like my friend was doing. And so I went through a lot of iterations of different things. And I still had medicine back in my mind. And so, it was a lot of just, what do I want to do? And then I was lucky enough to get a job in Boulder and get moved there. So which was great in a time when this company wasn't moving people from out of state who were 26 years old.
Right. It wasn't the thing. You had the friend. Yeah. And so now we're here, and good. I know we started to come here a minute ago, but now take me back. You've got the job opportunity, and it's not a trial. It's like, hey, you're moving, new job,
relocating to Boulder,
and you drove up.
I did. God love my friend George Allray, because we ended up leaving later because I needed to say goodbye to 800 people in Dallas.
Yeah, half the town.
Yeah, half the town, because you've known me a long time. Yeah. And George was so patient, and I don't even know when we left, and then we ended up driving, and then we couldn't find a place to spend the night, and it was just a disaster. Yeah. The drive was a little bit of a disaster, and I feel
it's a long drive.
Yeah, it's a long drive. So George was patient as ever because he was such a good friend, and then we ended up here. And then one of the things that you had, I'd seen with this podcast was what do you wish you had known?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, tell me.
Because I can't say I researched places to live or locations. So I found an apartment because I didn't know. I mean, there wasn't the same online.
Right. No, for sure. No, nothing. Yeah.
In 2001. No. So I've just found an apartment very close to where Boulder Community Hospital is right now. So I'm on Arapahoe, but it was kind of. Not really, is kind of on the outskirts, a little bit of town.
Yeah, a little bit.
For sure.
Town
has grown, but it was a great apartment, but there wasn't really any young people. It wasn't really a youthful, hip, like, hey, I'm going to meet new people here.
Yeah.
But because Boulder's such an amazing place, I mean, I joined the Boulder Triathlon Club. And, I mean, it was easy to get connected to people who, did things that you liked to do. And that's how I met just the circle of friends that I still have to this day.
That you still have, How cool is that?
But now I think there's really better ways and means if you're moving to this town to figure out, where do I start? Where do I want to live? Where, what's my trajectory? And where do a lot of young people live? Where is it hip to be? Where is it fun to be? So I think that's easier now, and I didn't really have that when I first moved.
So you landed, we'll say, kind of foothills, Arapahoe, that zone, and that's your base. What was your experience like in those early 2000s? Boulder was a totally different place.
Oh my God, yeah.
But what was it like? You're doing triathlon, you're in the BTC, you're hanging out, swimming at the rec centers, and what's it like? Were you immediately just taken and loving it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I did. I just met so many neat people.
Right.
I mean, you were one of them. Amanda was one of them. There's just a whole circle of people that, are mutual friends of both of ours that just were, they were just awesome people. And they were, we were kind of on the same boat. We all loved the outdoors, not just triathlons, but other things too. And there's just so many people that were diverse here in terms of what they loved and what they knew, and they came from different places. But back then, I feel like people really moved here because they wanted to adopt the Boulder lifestyle of outdoor, I love this place. I want to, be in the outdoors and respect the outdoors. And it wasn't really bringing everybody's cultures here from where they came. It was adopting this culture. And I feel like that's shifted a little bit now.
Tell me more about that.
So I do feel like people are sort of wanting to come here and sort of bring what they love from where they came from here, which isn't terrible. It's just, it's changed it a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm also, 20 some odd years older, and I'm a mom now. And
well, you've changed.
And I've changed. So I don't know if it's so much the city has changed, which it has, but I've changed too. So
I'm curious about that, and I know for if you're one of the people that moved here, which most of us have, like most of us moved here. They're the rare Boulder originals. They're out there.
Yes.
But most of us moved here. So if you're one of the people that moved here and you're bringing your vibe here, don't get offended.
Yes. Because that's not bad.
Because Dr. Kitty's going deep. So
it's not a bad thing.
I want to hear this. So it's not a bad thing. We all take ourselves, but because I've had a couple people say this when I've conversed with them here, what would you say is something that is maybe a couple negatives, like, hey, we don't really want that here, and we could try and maybe improve the vibe to not have it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, what are you seeing that you maybe didn't notice or recognize 10 or 20 years ago?
I think the day-to-day, and maybe again, this could be me because I was younger, the people who are just sort of saying hi and sort of being friendly and outgoing, and even just like you're on your bike, I feel like there's more people, there's more distracted people. I think there's a little more enmity between cars and bikes right now. There's just more people sort of, I think it's just a mutual respect thing. And I think because it's grown so much, I really think that's the culprit. I think it's just everybody wanting to do their thing and be in this amazing space. And I always try to take a breath and be like, okay, let me respect, the people who are doing what they're doing. If I'm in a car, let me respect the bike. And it's, just, I feel like it was a little bit of a kinder, gentler, easier, not so frenetic town when I moved here. And now it's a little bit more frenetic. And that's not I'm a transient too. It's not the fault of the people here. I think it's just the nature of a place that's so amazing, attracting people that want to be here. And, but trying to maintain, respect for trails, respect for each other, respect for everybody who wants to utilize the outdoors. And I'll give you an example. This morning, I was, this is why Boulder's so amazing. I was walking home, and one of my things that I'll do Mondays, I'm not in clinic, so I get to take my youngest to school, and we get to walk there with the dog. Walk home, and we live kind of along a busy street, but not on a busy street, and so we're kind of walking on the busy street, and so ostensibly things fall out of trucks and stuff. So I usually just, if there's a bottle or
pick up the trash.
I'll just pick up the trash. I was like, that's my hobby's. I'm a trash collector.
Same.
Trash collector.
Same.
So I'm picking up the stuff, and I'm walking, and I'm sure I look awkward, and
a little bag lady kind of. Wait, is she full bag lady? She's got that nice dog, but
real bag lady, semi bag lady. What is this chick doing? So I see some guy who's from the city of Boulder, and I just kind of waved at him as we, kind of hurried across the street because he's trying to make that left-hand turn onto a busy street that we all hate making. And so then I get to my street, and I see that he's turning down my street, and he's kind of going a little slow, and I cross the street to go home, and he's in my cul-de-sac, and he gets out of the car, and he says, "Did you pick that trash up?" And I said, "Sure." And he's like, oh my God, thanks.
Yeah.
He's like, that's the nicest thing. That's
Oh, nice. I love that.
That's so Boulder, right? And he's works for the city. And I said, oh, it's no big deal. He's like, well, can I take it from you? And I said, no, I live right there. I'm just going to go.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
He was just so, he's like, it's like I made his day or something.
Yeah.
I mean, all I did was pick up a little bit of trash.
I love that though.
So
and
Boulder, just that's very Boulder. Like, people picking up trash, maybe not so much, but people appreciating it, and stopping.
Yes.
We have compost, we have recycling, we have all this great stuff here. So
for sure.
So yeah,
that's a great story. And you know what? He had the choice. He had the opportunity to just be appreciating that and keep going. But he decided instead of that, I'm going to go acknowledge. Yes. I'm going to let her know how important that was. So that is a really nice story. I like that.
And I think kindness begets kindness.
Yeah,
it
for sure.
really does.
For
and
sure.
I days where, you're the epitome. You're the biggest glass half full human that I've ever met in my entire life.
You want to hear a joke?
Yeah. Totally.
I saw this in a math class, and it said, optimists see the glass half full and pessimists see the glass half empty. But mathematicians, they see the glass is totally 100% full all the time because it's half full of air and half full of water. Right. And I was like, well, how come no one ever told me that before? That's so smart.
That's so smart.
A little nod to the,
and
anyway.
It's half the battle.
But anyway, I don't know if that's a joke anyway, but still, I do like to be positive. I like what you said. I like the fact that you're picking up trash is huge because people do see that. And you know what? Some people will just be like, I don't have time. It's not my trash. Well, no, trash doesn't belong to anyone. Trash is trash. It's all of our trash. Right?
I always think about it like this. I'm like, I wouldn't throw that on the floor in my house. Yeah. My kids might, but I wouldn't. So I don't want that in my city either.
Yeah.
It's fault. It usually just bounces out of a truck. And so
totally. Yeah.
I tell my kids, if there's latex gloves, don't pick those up.
Yes. Stay away from certain trash.
From certain trash.
That's okay. That should belong to someone that's better equipped.
Somebody who's better equipped, but stuff like that, and they will.
Good for you.
Sometimes we'll walk home and we'll just pick up trash.
Yes, I like it. That's good. Great stuff. And you're in a good spot. I mean, you guys are walkable. You're rideable to work. And if we kind of touch on that now, you mentioned maybe one of the little bit of a negative change, a little bit more frenetic, a little bit more pace, and that could be that could be a lot of places.
Totally. It's every place. I think that's
probably a little bit
to live.
A little bit, yeah. But let's just talk about then now. You said, I wish, in the outline, I wish I knew this when I moved here. Was there something that you would have brought up, like I wish I knew this, or I wish something were still kind of like it used to be? Is there something that you long for or that you wish you knew? Because kind of a two-part question.
So I think, this is just sort of silly. I think sometimes, I think this was more when I first came back from medical school because it was it was like the Boulder I had left and then the Boulder I came back to, all those years later was just different. There were so many more people here.
Yes.
And so I longed for the mornings where I could go run Sanitas and I saw nobody.
Yeah, one or two people maybe. Yeah, you're the only one.
And then when I first came back, I sort of noticed that people weren't picking up their dog's poop all the time, which I think has changed. And it was
that's a tricky one.
That was hard because I was like, man, why aren't people doing that? People always used to do that when I started. Did I really remember that? But it's just more for me loving this place so much that I want to take care of it.
That's great.
Like I take care of my patients, I want to take care of this place, and I want to have people enjoy it, but also respect it too. And I
get that.
That's the part where I feel like when I came here, that was my mission. I always wanted to be here, and I saw and met all these people that loved it and respected it, and volunteered to do trail maintenance and all this other stuff, and make sure they were picking up their trash and being responsible. And I think, for the most part, I think that's still where we're at here. There's just a lot more people, and so it's a lot more density. So we even have to be more careful of that.
Correct.
And that's kind of my biggest thing now. Is wanting to be, I guess, like I said it today, a good steward. I never really thought about that. It's just picking up trash is no big deal. But, like wanting to be a good steward so everybody can enjoy this place. And because there's a lot more people here now, and that's kind of where I've changed my whole bend. But coming back, when I hadn't been back for a while, when I was done with med school and residency, it was different. It was much busier. And, the housing market had completely changed. And thankfully, a very good friend of mine found us an amazing house. And, that's why I tell my patients, that we're lucky we live here because we bought into the market so early, and that's why we can still live here because that's become tricky. And that's the part where I appreciate people like you who are helping people find what they need in places they need and helping people move here. Because that it had changed when I'd come back. Things had gotten, just a little harder to do.
A little harder.
Yeah.
And I love that you brought that up now, because at what point did you leave Boulder, and then how long were you gone?
So I left in 2006, and I was sort of intermediate. Well, so in 2006, so I'd actually quit my engineering job in 2003, and it was ironic. That was the year I met Diane Colgren, who was the woman who then inspired me to actually take the leap to go to medical school, and is a very good friend of mine, and whom I bought the practice from.
That's right.
So she had, in 2006, she was working for Boulder Dermatology, and then she decided to start her own practice, opened what was then Colgren Dermatology, which now I have renamed K2 Dermatology. And so I was working with her to help get the practice going. I was her medical assistant. And so I left in 2006 to go back to medical school back in Missouri. And so I was back and forth, though, because Ivy was still here, my husband, who he was still working here. And so I would kind of come back and forth a lot. So I never really left. Because we had bought a condo here and gotten in the market early. And so we had a place, which was an anchor. So this was home, no matter what, which was great. This was still always home. So I was back and forth a lot. So I can't say I left and then came back, 8 years later, but I was back and forth. But then actually moving back and living here again wasn't until 2014.
So it was it's a good gap. And I remember you and Ivy there was a back and forth, and then there was a time he moved to Missouri, and you guys, and your daughter, your oldest daughter was there. You guys are you're chilling there, but you're still, home is still here, but you're actually residing elsewhere.
Yes.
And you're like, let me just get through. You never thought, I'm going to stay in Kirksville.
No.
You're coming back.
Yeah.
And so
it was great.
Yeah.
The people there are great. It was great, but I knew.
For sure.
And when I got into dermatology residency, Diane was, I'm saving you a job if you want to come back. So I knew I had a job. And that was huge. So that was, I had a job to come back to. So
that perfect.
That was great.
But I love that. So, but it's an 8-year gap, and that's where I kind of bring it up, because to cross check it, because you're saying, that was a lot of change. It really was a different Boulder from 2006 to 2014, right? A lot happened for you. A lot happened for the town. Exactly. It did grow. Okay, so you're back, and again, now it's fun. You came here in 2001. The magic of driving over Davidson Mesa, the beauty.
Still there.
You come back, still beautiful.
Still beautiful.
You come back in 2014. What's the experience returning? Were you like, yep, even though it had changed? Was it still, I'm home, I'm so happy, this is still that magical place?
Totally. I was so anxious to get back. It was more than just being home. It was being home, but it was also being home and not being a student finally. Big changes for you. Years and not, working tons and tons of hours. And I was so lucky. I loved where I went. The people I trained with were amazing. They really were. They were so good to us. And we were able to do some cool things in the town, especially Ivy. And no regrets at all with that, but I was definitely ready to be back in the mountains. That's my piece.
That's it, totally.
It's totally my piece. So, but we came back here also parents. So we left with no kids. And we came back with a daughter. And so that was a whole different perspective. So it was like, now I'm back here. So it was reintegrating back as a different person, but still the same person, because now I'm back here as a doctor. And now all my friends have sort of lived their lives and been, kind of moving on in some ways, and some people had kids and some people didn't. And now we had to come back here with a kid, and we're like, hey, hi everybody, remember us? Like, we're back. And it's not that we lost those connections, but when you don't live somewhere,
you gotta spark it back up again.
You gotta spark it back up again. So I remember we had one heck of a birthday party for Avery when she was 3, I guess, when we moved back. Because we were like, this is really a party for us to see all our friends.
This is not about you, young lady.
This is not about you. You're too young. You're never going to remember. But we want to invite every single person in the whole wide world. So we probably had 100 people because we missed everybody so much, and had her birthday party really for us. Sorry, Ave, but it was
well, no, it's fair. That's what kids are here for. They're here to support us through the good and the bad and the parties. No, that's neat. And now we're 2014. You're working for Diane. You're back in it. You're in the biz. You're moving. You're recognizing. Let's talk about now your interaction with, or then let's talk about the how you integrate back to the mountains, back to your happy place, back to training. I'm guessing that's kind of, you just didn't miss a beat, right back to it.
I don't know about that. It was nice because where we lived, you could still do outdoorsy things when there was time.
Sure.
And so there definitely, the priorities were different. I was working a ton, and then I was trying to be a mom, and and so the priorities were different. We still tried to do what we could when we were in Missouri and enjoy it and go places and do things. But back here, I mean, you get back and you're like, well, yeah, I want to start doing all the things I love doing.
Understood.
Again,
Understood.
But it was different, I mean, I needed to kind of get back into things, and with a kid, and having a 3-year-old, and figure out life like that.
For sure.
It wasn't just Ivy and I and whatever we wanted with our dog and whatever we wanted to do anymore. It was like reframing our life, back with our friends and reintegrating, and then meeting new friends. I mean,
kid friends.
Kid friends. It's a whole different. It's like you add to your circle, and it's so beautiful.
And this, what I'm just realizing, it is very cool. And what I'm realizing is, you left in 2006. You viewed Boulder for 5 years as just a place for adults, you and Ivy. When you came back, I mean, were you aware, or you probably were, but was it a big shock to come back and be like, oh my God, this is the most amazing place to raise kids? Or was that, or do you believe that?
I totally believe that. I mean, that was a big driver too. Is I'm like, I'm going home. I have a home there, and I can raise my kids there, and I can learn all these neat things and learn about the outdoors and do all these cool things. And and I feel like we've been lucky enough to be able to afford that. And
for sure.
give them opportunities and experiences that you can, have in this place. Even not expensive stuff. Even little things like just going and picking up bugs and stuff. I mean,
Well, even just
on the trails, or flowers, or looking at butterflies. I mean, there's so much here, and so now it was like moving back through the lens of we had us, but now we needed to figure out still what we love to do as us. Which we still love to do, was be in the outdoors, but then how do we, just integrate it in with Avery, with our first,
with your daughter, with the first, and then, so, and I just am curious about that, because I know for sure when I moved here, I did not have one bit of a lens of what it would be like to raise a kid here, because that's not what you're focused on. But you come back and you leave, you come back, so all the change, and then, but you guys are a great example of your daughter, both your daughters will cross country ski, and it's like they'll go do hikes, they'll go do running, all the stuff that is very normal here.
I know,
but it's very abnormal, I think, in a lot of places, right? I know. And I think that's super cool.
So lucky, and we were really, really fortunate, and we get to go to the mountains fairly regularly, and see different places and do different things, and our kids have gotten to paddle and raft,
paddle. There you go, more
mountain
stuff,
bike, and all the stuff, and
all the things,
all the things. And, and still do other things too. Draw. My youngest loves art, and so it's just this is truly an amazing place. There's just so many. I mean, you name it, and it's here, and that's a lot. It's I mean, I think a lot of places offer that, but this place has such the lush outdoor activity things for everybody. I think that's really magical. But that was what we needed to figure out, is our life back where we had met, where we had,
where we started,
growing up together, where we started dating, where we got married, somebody who was the best man at our wedding.
There you go, up there on Flagstaff. I know,
at the amphitheater.
I know, beautiful spot. Yes.
I wish we could tell the story of that, but we don't have enough time. But it was a good story.
We have time, but I don't know if you want to tell the story, but no. So it's. You can tell any story. That's why we're here. But I do want to kind of go a little bit of, we led with you've got K2 Dermatology, and you work very hard. You're off on Mondays, which is why we're recording here today on a Monday. You work very hard, but you're in the mountains. You guys get to enjoy time up in Winter Park, and you guys do a lot of awesome stuff. You ran a 50K when you turned 50, or just after. You still compete. You did a couple triathlons already this year, one or two? One, okay. And so tell us a little bit about, first off, managing a schedule like that. I mean, you work long hours, but then what's it like for you? How do you get out and get stuff done? Exercise, kids, work, and then still compete and all that stuff. Share maybe a day in the life of Dr. Koger. Dr. Kitty.
Well, I mean, it's probably the same thing that you do, or a lot of people do, and it's just balancing everything. And, work has been a big party. That's been, something that I started, and I wanted to make sure I proved myself, because Diane, was such a name here, and such an inspiration, and such a good friend and mentor. And so, I learned under her and needed to establish my practice, so I did put a lot of time and hours in doing that, and doing volunteer things. And again, again, just trying to help the community, but I loved it. I loved it. It was like, my cup is finally full. You know, even med school, it was like, my cup is finally full. And I just loved it.
That's
I still love what I do. And so that was, you know, kind of, and then having kids front and center, you know, it was like the, you know, mom kids thing first in career. And then like, okay, well, how am I going to do activities? And how am I going to feel like myself? And the mornings, it's the same, I think with you, the same thing is I just get up early. Sometimes the sun isn't up for a while, and it's my time to think, it's my time to plan, it's my time to wake up. And I've always been a morning person. And so that's when I just get stuff done. And I think we've just shifted. You know, I mean, I used to love training for Ironman, but there's no real time for that anymore. Some people can manage it and make it work, and they are amazing. I just don't have. I guess I'm not that efficient, but you know, just smaller things, different things that still make me feel like I can get my heart rate going. You know, I mean, that's just doing it in the morning and sometimes on the weekends when, you know, it's also the time that Ivy and I have together, and so a lot of times we'll go do that stuff together, and that's when we can talk or share or catch up or you know, just because you're married doesn't mean you always get to catch up with them.
No, for sure, especially, and you work together.
Yes, and now we work together. We didn't always work together, but now he's the COO of the company, which was really awesome because he retired from his engineering job and decided to help you know, make sure fantastic. And he's amazing. He's a really huge asset to the practice. So I was, you know, work and kids and all that stuff was really forefront, and then, you know, just trying to merge in racing because I've realized I'm a very goal-oriented person.
Yes, I see that.
So I really like having goals, and so now that I've achieved some of them, I always like having something a little bit out there that I can still keep working towards and just keep myself sharp. You know, not always athletic, but just different things now, and that's shifted as I've gotten older too. So
keep doing that.
Goals
that's
are good.
Yeah, it works for you. You gotta do that.
So just early in the morning.
Early in the morning. So you're up early. You do some exercise, a bike, a run, a little swimming. You still swimming? Yeah, you have to.
Ton more. I need to be more, but lifting now.
Lifting.
I'm over 50. I'm 50.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah,
lifting now.
It's important.
Now it's getting a little bit of muscle mass to avoid osteoporosis. So you know, that's also come into play.
That's important. I mean, that's a good, and that's a whole, and so we'll talk about when you I want to hear a little bit specifically about that in a second. I want to know this, and this is, you know, you brought it up, and Ivy's the guy that she mentioned, her husband, he can really do anything. Like Ivy can do anything. So you put him in a role, he's doing it. And you, I really think at your core, you're one of the most unique and amazing helpers. Like, does that sound fair? Do you see yourself as a helper personality? Like someone that really is a caregiver? Does that resonate, or am I off base?
No, I mean, that's probably the best compliment I could get. That's always what I've wanted to be.
Yeah.
Even when I was little, I remember even just my mom, anybody, like it's just, it filled my cup to just help somebody in any way, shape, or form. Yes, that's you. And it just.
Well, you do a great job. Yeah.
Well, thank you. It just it makes me happy to help other people feel better, be better, be happy. And
well, I mean, and it's funny because it took. I'm a slow learner, but I remember when you first told me in a man, you said, you know what, I'm going to quit my engineering job. We were at the time, you know, trying to be a professional triathlete, each of us, and basically we're hacking it out, barely making a couple dollars here and there, and we're like, oh, she's got an engineering job, she's doing well. Like engineering seems like it brings in some good revenue, and you're like, well, I'm going to quit my engineering job and I'm going to become a doctor, and we're just like, well, that sounds like a really no, but
guys are probably both like
less of idiot, more like
so hard.
No, but it was really
both were.
It was just really more like, holy crap, like that's and it's like, well, but why? And then you realize the actual why is because you were good at what you did. You're financially strong, but in the end, you wanted to help people more. Yes. You weren't in that zone that fills your cup, but that was authentically you.
That's
and now you're there.
Why?
Okay.
And it's cool now because, you know, people reach out and need things, and I love it when they do, and they're always like, I'm sorry to bug you, and I'm like, no, like this is exactly why I did this. Like this is why in my 30s pretty much I was gone because
you were gone. Yeah, good for you though. But we're all grateful. I mean, sounding off for the people that have called and asked about, it might have been hand, foot, and mouth. It might not have been, but I remember calling for a remote consult for Dr. Kitty. Before I go there any further, I've gone there. That's great. Yeah, and I want not necessarily pay a compliment, but really just acknowledge and recognize, because I think it's fun to see what drives us. Mm-hmm. And I think that for you, it's an essential, it's like oxygen, right? Being helpful, 100%. Being there and supporting people. Yeah. So, and you do a great job with that. You really do.
Thank you.
One of it is you're helping me here. So now back to the conversation about Boulder. Tell me what is, and this is the fun stuff. Well, it's all fun, but what would you say is if you had folks in town visiting, and it's like-minded folks, and you're like, I want to spend a day, I want to show them my best version of Boulder. Winter, spring, summer, fall, whatever works. What's it look like for you and a visitor or visitors from out of town?
Oh, that's so fun.
Walk us through it.
It depends on who it is and what they like, but I mean, most people come here because they want to see the outdoors.
Yeah.
And so, we'll visit the mountains, and so...
Where?
Honestly, we just usually stick around here.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll go up Flagstaff.
Okay.
Sometimes we'll just stick around Sanitas because that's our neighborhood.
Yeah.
We're so lucky we live over there because a very nice person found us a home there.
Yeah.
And so Amanda Lovato, by the way, she's amazing. And, so a lot of times we'll just stick around in our neighborhood and show them that. And there's so many places near our neighborhood that we can walk or ride bikes to. And so we'll do a lot of that. And, so it just depends on who's here. Pearl Street's a big driver.
Yeah.
I have a nephew who loves sports. I really we'll take him to games.
Okay.
Sometimes, we are biking distance from CU Stadium.
Okay.
That's pretty amazing.
So,
in the fall for football, there's just always stuff going on here. Bands on the bricks. There's always so many things. So it really does depend on the time of year, what's happening, who's here, what they're into. But honestly, it's endless. It's almost hard to fit it all in.
It 100%. I agree, and it does depend. And so it's it was too broad of a question. So then we'll just do this to kind of sync up. If you were going to take one hike, that would be one that you would just say, I cannot live without this, and I have to show this hike. What's the best hike in town for you? And I'll give you a little time to think. It can be just an hour hike, half-hour hike, or an all-day hike. What do you love? What's something that just really drove you? You just loved it.
I'd probably be Sanitas because I've been on that mountain so many times.
It's awesome.
And I have so many memories, and I've spread dog ashes on that mountain.
Oh, yeah.
It's
for sure.
And it's
that's the
so
spot.
Close.
Yeah.
It's probably that spot. There's so many, though.
Okay.
That's a tough one to answer. But a lot of times we'll go kind of up Flagstaff, too, where we got married. And that's a popular one, too. And Chautauqua. I have some secret places where I love to access Chautauqua, too.
Yeah.
And
can't list the parking spot for that.
Yeah. No, we can't. It's a secret.
But that's good. Okay. That's good. And so then what about this? Where would you go if you had to take us out for breakfast? Would you ever go out for breakfast?
Oh, yeah.
So where would be your favorite breakfast spot?
So one of the places I was Walnut Cafe.
Walnut, yeah.
I've always loved Walnut Cafe. The owners have always been awesome. The food there is so good.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
Totally. Central.
So Central, and it's just, I don't know, the vibe there is so fun. I love Walnut Cafe. There's a lot of good places now, but, I just think Walnut Cafe is great.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's woman-owned, and it's,
it is.
I love it. And their food is amazing. So that's probably my favorite breakfast place.
Yes.
Yeah, my favorite.
Yeah. What about dinner?
So I wouldn't say we go here a lot. Okay, so it's just standard dinner that my whole family loves. This is so funny. Is Meiwa Chinese?
No way. That's
Meiwa. It's the best
top
Chinese
of the list.
restaurant. I hope they never go out of business. It's down on Baseline, but literally, I feel like it's how Ivy and I met or got to know each other because we literally order the same thing so much that when we left to move to Missouri, when we came back, the gal who owns it, we called and it was 4 years later, and we ordered what we always order, and she's like, "Where have you guys been?"
That's awesome.
100%. She knew when we got back. She knew us and knew our order.
What's the order? Throw it down there.
Sesame tofu. It's so good.
Sesame tofu. Both you guys, same thing.
Sesame tofu.
Yeah.
And he's
oh my gosh, I love that.
I'm not, but we've ordered so much sesame tofu from Meiwa because it's the best, and they're the nicest people there ever.
Oh my gosh.
It's just it's just such good food.
Perfect.
And
that's good. That's see, this is why we do this.
Yeah, it's awesome. Meiwa. It's my favorite.
I don't memorize every answer, but that has not been stated yet, so it's fun to see.
Such a gem.
Yeah, I know.
Meiwa, Chinese food.
Okay, good.
Sesame tofu.
Yeah, very good.
They'll
All
think
right.
you're a Koger if you call it order to.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Oh, are you the oldest, the youngest, or the
youngest? Are you a Koger?"
Well, that's good. It's special. So, and then if we roll through, there's other things. Where, and then you're getting to the big question here about do you ever go out for coffee?
Yeah.
What do you got for coffee? What's your favorite zip in, zip out, and where's your favorite sit down and chill and have a coffee?
Probably have maybe helped Guy redo Red Rock's coffee.
Yes. You're like, I'm an investor.
Yes, I'm an investor and proudly so.
I know.
He is amazing. And he has so many friends in common that actually you and I have in common. And I may or may not know that you go there too, but he's just a fantastic human, and his staff. And they make, their baked goods are good.
Right.
It's just a great vibe. It's right on my way to work. And I'm the only one who drinks coffee in my house. So a lot of times on my way to work, I'll just stop quick and just get a refill.
Perfect.
Just a cup if
just
I don't.
A refill.
Yeah, just a refill. And it's
refill from yesterday? You're just like, I'm paying the refill charge.
Paying the refill charge, exactly. And I know everybody in there, and I've known them forever. And it's just like, it's like my cheers. And so Red Rock's Coffee House.
I'm with you. Iris. So good. Yeah.
I know. And so, I know you're with me because I may or may not see you there sometimes.
We've and if you don't see me, I see you because I'm looking from the office.
I know.
I count it every time I put a little spreadsheet together and I try and see what you bring out.
I went there today before I came.
I know. Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much. And it's neat, Guy. This is also like a lot of really good coffee in Boulder.
Yeah,
and one of the things that's cool about Guy is he makes all his own food. Like he makes the burritos, he makes the baked goods,
everything. And he's
that's
such
unique.
A hardworking human. Such a hardworking guy. Is a hardworking guy, and all of his staff is just lovely. It's just a great place to go.
Good call. Okay, good, super call. Now I'm going to segue back into your workout, and then I'm going to zip into my favorite. Well, it's really one of my favorite questions, but. You were talking about lifting weights and you're swimming and you guys are like live by North Bell Rec. Where's the workout? What is it? Where are you lifting weights? You lifting weights now with?
So no, I wasn't just lifting at North Boulder Rec Center, and the more I dive into, when you hit 50 and osteopenia, osteoporosis,
and sarcopenia,
and yes, and all the penias. Yes, exactly.
Right, the muscle loss. Jalapenios.
Jalapenios. So all the penias. I was kind of dabbling, and then it was literally my friend Eric. I'll give a shout out to for many, many things, good and bad. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Eric, and his wife Maria, and they were really kind of cajoling Ivy and I to just join CrossFit.
Okay,
they love the community there, and they're fantastic athletes. I mean, they're collegiate athletes, super talented.
They're still in college.
And no,
Ivy said he says they beat up on the collegiate stuff. So go ahead,
So they're in the talent bracket that you and Amanda are in.
Yeah, thanks for the compliment. Yeah.
So they were just like, just try it. And I'm like, I'm not a CrossFit person. I'm not like, and Ivy, getting him to lift weights, forget it. Like, no,
it's a big struggle.
He's just not that guy. However, the community, we go to CrossFit Sanitas, but there's a couple gyms in town and they're all good. We know a lot of friends. And honestly, Ivy had a bad back forever. And they're all about just moving well there. And that's what hooked me. Because I went and I was like, listen, I do dumb things because I like to compete, and I don't really want to compete at this. I just want to get stronger and move better.
I love that.
And be able to move well.
Yeah.
And the guy that I was there with said, this is exactly what we need to do. And no one pressures you there. There's no, I am not the CrossFit queen at all.
Right.
I'm really bad. I'm like a C- student at CrossFit.
I'm sure.
It gives me something to aspire
probably
to.
At least a C+. You're downgrading yourself. B- maybe.
But then,
A+.
of course, my husband, who's good at everything, already is really good at CrossFit. But it's been good. I mean, I think it's helped both of us feel stronger. So, and everybody has their own place that they like to lift, and I think it's great. But I'm very
You're at Sanitas. That's wonderful. Yeah, good.
Yeah, they're great.
Thank you for sharing that. And it's and so you're doing that, and then now we'll kind of move into, this is something I want to hear, and you have to be very specific. You get to be very imaginative here. It's probably happens all the time, but you will, because it's, what is it, summer? I think it's technically still summer.
Yes.
So we're going to take a summer day, and you're going to give us the ideal kiddie day in the summer. And now you get to start with, like, it can be, you can blend a bunch of days together. It could have happened, it could have not happened yet, but give us something where you say, I'm going to walk you through perfect Boulder County Front Range day, and there's no rules. Okay. I'm going to keep explaining it so you can keep thinking, but like, you wake up to when you go to bed, tell us, you can bring Ivy or you don't have to.
Okay.
And if he listens, it doesn't matter. It's your perfect day. He doesn't automatically get to belong in the perfect, or your kids or your dog, whatever you want.
Okay.
I might be there, but probably not. But go ahead. So you ready?
I would.
Perfect day.
Okay, perfect day. So perfect day, I wake up early, and I usually probably would go for a run or a bike ride.
Okay.
Mountain bike ride.
Mountain bike ride.
Mountain bike ride.
Okay.
Maybe go do Batasso or something.
Okay.
And ride that from my house because I'm so lucky.
Yeah.
I would choose to bring Ivy if he'll get out of
You
bed.
would? Okay.
I would.
Okay.
I would always choose to bring Ivy, and because he's fun, and it's
Super
fun to
fun.
ride with him, and he's taught me a lot, and gotten me in a lot of accent. No, I've got myself in a lot of accents, and I know you've had the same because Ivy's such a good mountain biker. But anyway, so we would go do a ride and come home, and then I'd be able to get the kids breakfast because they were probably still sleeping or just having an easy morning instead of rush. And then I would get them breakfast, and maybe I'd go get a latte at Red Rocks, and I'd come back and eat breakfast with them, and then we'd go have a fun day and play. Whether that's like the pool or whether that's, I don't know, sometimes we'll go just kick the soccer ball around, or sometimes we'll go run errands, or sometimes we'll go to Pearl Street, and depending on, or we'll go pick up friends. I really love, one of the things I love having is kids at my house. I can't get enough of it. If I hadn't started so late having kids, I probably would have wanted lots of kids.
Plenty more.
So I love it when kids come over and I can cook for them, or they can play at our house. We have a lot of games at our house, and basketball and trampolines and stuff. So that is also a perfect day if kids just want to come over and hang out. And so that's, in summertime, perfect day for me. I like staying just busy and doing things, much to my husband's chagrin probably, because I think he'd love to probably be a little more relaxed. But I love, especially in the summertime, just being out doing things.
Okay. So you've done your mountain bike, you've come back, you've fed the kids, you hung out, you've gone maybe to the pool, a little bit of the pool, you said?
Yeah, maybe we'll go to the pool,
we'll play or kick soccer ball?
We'll go play somewhere.
Goof off with the kids?
Yeah, goof off with the kids. One morning we got on bikes and we rode to, Lucky's, the little Lucky's
Bakehouse.
Bakehouse, restaurant.
Perfect.
We had breakfast there. Yeah. And, sometimes, that was really fun. And, sometimes, too, we'll just come home, and if the kids are tired, we'll just kind of hang out.
Yeah, hang out.
But it just sort of depends.
Yep. It's fun for me to see, and this is why I like it to be super specific. So now let's just say it's 4:00. Now, what are you going to do? You've had kids hanging out, you've got the vibe, you're loving it, everyone's giggling, having a good time. And then what about dinner? Are you guys grilling? You going to a restaurant? You going to, if so, where? Are you picnic? Are you biking? Whatever. Yeah. I don't know. What's the evening look like on the ideal day? You're capping it off.
Ideal day. If I'm tired, it's just getting food.
Getting it like food, takeout?
Yeah, takeout. If we're really tired and we haven't had time to go to the grocery store, we'll get takeout.
Sesame tofu.
Yes.
Okay.
You took the words out of my mouth. Sesame tofu. So or if sometimes it's really fun. I love having friends over too. Having a barbecue, even if it's just a casual barbecue, that's super fun. We've got a great backyard for it. So it sort of just depends on our energy levels and how much food we have in the house, and whether anybody's been grocery shopping.
It's a perfect day, so it's full stock. You're ready. Yeah,
full stock, ready. Then we'll make dinner or grill. I love grilling and being in the backyard and hanging out, and it's great. And then I've gotten to the point too where I love walking our dog at night too.
Okay.
In the neighborhood everything's quiet, and sometimes my now 13-year-old will just go with me.
That's nice.
That's the time that she and I will just talk.
Yeah.
And I would not trade that time for anything. That's one of my favorite moments or both girls will come with me.
Wow, that'd be a treat.
We'll look at fireflies, or we'll talk about their day, or we'll laugh about something, or we'll think about memories, or we'll walk around the pond that's near our house, and we'll look. Sometimes there's different types of ducks, or sometimes we see turtles in the pond, and I don't know. We've just been doing that for so long. That's
so
one of
good.
my favorite evening activities.
What a great way.
Done with everybody's done with homework, or it's the summer, and we take our dog Goldie out, and we just take her for a walk around the neighborhood, and let her meet everybody, and that's one of my favorite things in the evening.
No, for sure. What a way to cap it.
I'm not always home from work, and so I'm trying to
make that happen.
Make that happen. And when the days are longer, that's a lot easier.
That's helpful.
Yeah,
that's so cool. I think when you said that, I think especially having a freshman in high school and then also third grader, but you look at it and you go, what I've heard anyway is that when you're side by side with someone and you're not face to face, those conversations, especially with a teenager, they can be the best because it's easier to talk. Like you're so very close, but you're looking ahead and you're not making eye contact. You kind of have a lot more vulnerability. I don't know if that's that's true, but I've heard that, and it seems like what a great setting. You're walking the neighborhood, and it seems like an awesome way to finish the day.
Yeah, it's my favorite, absolutely my favorite. And then we'll come home and get ready and do the wind down that people do, and get to bed at a decent hour and start the day again.
There you go. Well, that was a pretty good day. Thank you for sharing that. I hope you get to have one exactly like that sometime soon. I bet you do.
Pretty lucky.
Yeah, for sure.
That happens.
Very good. Well, here's the other. I did send you an outline. I don't know if we've stayed or strayed, but let's just say that there's something that you were like, I really hope he asks me and we get to talk about. If not, then no problem. But is there something else that I left off that we want to talk about? We talked a little bit about K2. I want to kind of highlight that again, but is there anything else that we missed that we should talk more about?
Trying to think, we hit some really good high points.
Yeah, inquiring minds want to know.
Inquiring minds want to know. I mean, I think just in general, just with now being a business owner in Boulder, and you're a business owner in Boulder, and just how far, I mean, looking at our friendship, yours and mine, through the years, how far we've come.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And just right back at you. I mean, look at what you and Amanda have built. I mean, you just showed me your barn, and, I mean, where you and I and Amanda and Ivy started when we were in our 20s, and just what we all hope to do, and we've been lucky enough to have some hard work and good luck and good people in our lives to be able to get to such an amazing place in an amazing town that we all still live in. Our kids are friends. We get to raise them together. Yeah. I just feel incredibly fortunate. Good. I know that's not really.
No, it's good. That's nice. No, it is. It's good.
But I just and what I'd love to do is if somebody ever wanted to come here, I'd love to help them do that. That's the beauty of, I think, yours and my job. We get to interact and interface with people every day, and so we also get to, help them have their ideal days or figure out how to make a life here and be here. Especially you helping people, live here, and me taking care of people medically. So, I don't know. I just feel like I'm just grateful every day. I just really try to remember how grateful I should be. I mean, so in our, we're healthy. I mean, I see this every day too with patients, and our kids are healthy, and I couldn't ask for more than that. I mean, that's the number one thing in the morning that I'm to the universe, like, thank you.
Yes, good for
our
you.
Health and where we live and stuff. So that's important for me every morning, and some mornings I whiff it, and some mornings I'm really good about remembering gratitude. So I don't know, and that's just all wrapped up in being able to be here with people we love in a place we love, and both be business owners, you and I, and be able to hopefully help people and impact people, and it's just pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome. And you know what? Good. And you're doing it, and I love it. It is fun to see how far we've come. It is fun to see, and I drive by your guys' place all the time, 47th, and we call that the Diagonal right there. Yeah, it's still it's already officially
47th
K2 Dermatology. Yeah,
that random brown building.
The random brown building, but you guys have the best sign. You almost feel like the whole building is yours because it's right there. It's like that's the entire. You just fill it out.
I know, the guy who did that sign's amazing. It's a good sign.
For sure. Yeah. Well, very good. And then I know you're very well booked out. I have a couple of skin questions that we're going to cover.
Please. Wouldn't be a podcast without that, because this is what I love.
But where would people find you so they can book out, go see you, or just, share? Because people want to know, like, where's the best dermatologist in town? K2, where can we find you?
So K2 Dermatology, formerly Koger Dermatology, because I bought the practice from my friend Dr. Koger in 2023. So it's now K2 Dermatology, but it's been the same location since 2006 when I opened it with Diane. So 3434 47th Street, we're at Suite 200. So 303-444-8100, and we're a smaller clinic. So we have the people who answer phones, or I can shout at them from my office, and so if somebody really needs something, we try to get them in. And there's so many good practitioners in this town that we also are friends with and friendly with.
Yeah, of course.
Colleagues and constituents, and so we all try to work together, and that's the beauty. I think patients can rest assured that they're getting cared for well here, because there's so many good, conscientious, smart, and practitioners here that will call. We are all pretty good friends, and so we'll call each other on behalf of patients, because that's what it's about. It's taking care of people.
That's true.
So I mean, that's where you find us, and there's a lot of good folks in town doing good work, and we're just incredibly fortunate to live in a place like this. It's not we're not in a university setting, we're not CU down at Anschutz, but we do have a lot of people that really work well together across specialties and within the same specialties. So I think people can rest assured they can find really good care here.
Yes.
That makes me feel good.
Well, and you guys,
with us, yes, hopefully that's what we strive
for
to,
sure.
but with other people too.
Yeah,
you know?
no, you guys rock. And you know what? Here, I'll leave it at this. You guys rock. And you're going to refer other people when you have to, because there has to be a second best. You have to find, we can't all be the best. No, it's good. You guys, I'm a big fan. You guys are doing awesome stuff. I love you. And I love that you came on. And I have known you for decades, and I learned more today than I ever knew. So that's always part of the fun for me. And hopefully everyone else enjoyed that as well. It was very good.
Too. And I love you too, my friend.
Very
amazing.
Good. Well, thank you so much. And I will say, I appreciate your time here. I hope everybody had fun. And before our next episode, I'll do as I always do, and I'll encourage you to go out there and do something that you love.